Hello and welcome to the Powerboost meditation. Today, let us experiment with the theme, the guest house. The guest house. We all know that we are spiritual beings and we are here in this physical dimension playing our roles. But often this realization of the truth it can easily get diluted. And this word guest house really is an appropriate word to describe the relationship that we souls have with this physical dimension. A guest house is somewhere that we would want to go on a vacation. We rent a guest house, we book a guest house in advance. We go there for a few days, a few weeks, and the purpose of our visit is to really enjoy, have fun, is to relax. And then after the trip is over, we come back to our home. In the same way, this realization that this entire physical world, including this body, we souls have come here and we have checked in for a fixed number of days. And we realize that the purpose of our visit is to enjoy, is to experience happiness, is to experience life. And when this clarity is there, and we know that we have come from our home of light, and that we will go back after we check out from this guest house, we will go back to our home of light. When this perspective is very clear, not just during meditation, but as we uh, play our roles, as we interact with the world, to really have this perspective very, very clear that this is the truth of life. We are souls. We have come here as guests. This is a guest house. Even this body is a guest house. And we have checked in for a certain number of days. And then the purpose of our visit is to experience happiness. And then we will go back home. This really allows for the soul to be internally free, internally happy, whilst uh, playing the part. Otherwise, when this consciousness of the guest house is forgotten, then the soul begins to create ownership of people, of things, of any possessions, anything. And when this sense of ownership comes, it's then that the natural expression of the soul, natural qualities of the soul are lost. Because ownership is something that doesn't come to the soul naturally. Because the soul really is a guest. We are not owners of anything in this physical world. And so when there is a host consciousness, along with it comes pressures, burdens, along with it comes a lot of anxiety and worry. And the option that we have, and it's not just a practice, but the reality that we are all eternal guests in this guest house. So just remembering this one word, guest house, allows us to really live a life of freedom, inner freedom, a life of inner happiness and unconditional joy. There's nothing can then take that away from the soul. And in that awareness, in that feeling of lightness, it becomes very easy for the soul to then experience the presence of the divine and to really then connect to the divine. So let us spend a few minutes experiencing the guest house. As we sit back and relax ourselves, we realize that we are eternal tourists. We keep on traveling from our home of light into this physical world. This physical world really is a guest house. We have checked in to this hotel, to this guest house, knowing that we have come here to experience life. But we know that our duration of stay is limited and that we can always go back to where we have come from. And so, in this moment, let me just pay attention to this reality. Seeing this entire story world as a guest house, something that is extra for me as a being of light. My reality is eternal. I belong to my home of light, the home of silence. There was a time when I just used to be there with my family of stars, the company of the divine. And from there, we came down to this guest house to experience life from a different perspective. It took support of this physical costume, the space suits, and we began to enjoy our parts, our lives here. We realized that the duration of our stay here is limited. We realize that we are not owners of anything here in this world. We realize that nothing belongs to us. And with this perspective, we are eternally free and secure. Our reality beyond this guest house is what really exists. We are beings of light. suspended in silence in the ocean of light, in the company of the divine. Just as the divine knows that he is beyond I, the being, I also realize this truth. I drop off all the layers of the temporary story, just allowing myself to be in the company of the source. I don't need to think about anything that's happening in the guest house. I'm here in my home with my eternal parent, completely safe, completely secure. It allows me to be myself, completely detached from the story, and being a silent observer, absorbing the light of truth, the light of love, of the divine. Seeing the world down below as a guest house allows me to be completely free internally, allows me to stay connected with the divine naturally, without any attachments and dependencies. And now gently, as I return back to the guest house, as an invisible tourist, I know the truth. Come here as a guest in this body, in this physical world, knowing that I don't own anything that belongs here. This allows me to stay inside with the divine as I play my part here in this guest house. Om Shanti. Thank you.